Hello, I am Patricia McNeely. I am an illumined Blu-ray twin flame from Chicago, Illinois. I hope you're doing well today. Today, I have several things to talk to you about, and mostly, I hope everyone is really doing well. This has been a really tough and intense time for a lot of people. It's part of what I want to talk to you about, because things really are not going to ease up in some ways. And in some ways, things will continue to seem a bit strange. And there's a divergence that's happening. What I've been talking about over several months is still happening. And we are coming into, several more planetary or cosmic energies here. And it's going to affect people. So, some people get tired of talking about this. They'll say, just like other people get tired of sports season, it's football season, it's baseball season, it's opera season, it's eclipse season. But what does it mean, it's eclipse season? Well, every year there is what's called an annular eclipse. And that means that it's an annular solar eclipse. There's several lunar eclipses, and this one is happening on September 1st. Now, these energies are very significant because together with this, we are having Mercury goes retrograde on August 30th until about September 22nd, until carries us to the equinox. A few days ago, on August 22nd, Mercury conjuncted with Jupiter. Mars conjuncted with Saturn just a couple days ago, actually just yesterday. And tomorrow we've got Mars squaring with Neptune. So a lot of this Mars energy, this is a lot of the masculine energy. This is Mars and Jupiter, Mars and Saturn, Mars and Neptune. And this is bringing together the aspects of all of the dreams, all of the wishes, along with the structure, the structured environment, the proper way to conclude things and get yourself out of situations. And with yourself intact. This is very key because we've previously gotten rid of a lot of the suicidal thoughts, feelings, escape, all of the escape mechanisms, the numbing out, and there are still people winding down with it. This other magical energy coinciding here with Mercury coming into Virgo, doing this in the Virgo energy. And I feel Virgo as very fresh, clean, and let's face it, virginal. It's Virgo. And, I like to keep things simple. I leave the real intricate astrology to those people that are astrologers. That's what they should do. That's what they're called to do. And what I am called to do is the body. Not just any body, your light body. And I'm going to talk about, that because all of these things affect your body. So right now we've got coming into, I'm calling this one demigod misfits. Why? Interestingly, demigods, these are those of us that are part human and part angelic. We are all a part of God, and yet we haven't fit in here in a 3D physical environment. Many people have felt like misfits. First and foremost, especially Blu-ray people, especially those of the indigo ray, those who are expressing indigo, misfit hands down, but also a rebel, also one to buck the system. But there's a lot of others who have not felt like they belong. They are from somewhere else, they belong somewhere else. And not fitting in, this is one of the important things that a lot of us have overcome. Part of the reason is we have melded several planetary consciousnesses here on Earth. Earth is a healing place. Earth is also a place in this created universe of where do you go to divest your karma? It's here. It's here. And some of us are doing this first and foremost. This solar eclipse happened September 1st. The lunar eclipse happened September 16th. I'll be talking about that in more detail coming up here. This is a lot of the father energy. This is the old masculine energy, the things that you think of as patriarchal, tyrant energy. And some of you grew up in families where you took the freight train to incarnate here. You wanted to get here and get your new light body and be with your twin again. And yet you took the freight train and you say, oh, these people I was born to, they are toxic. However, some of that has enabled you to get the proper lineage you need to unravel and disentangle yourself. We're seeing this here in the United States with our political arena, the blowhard, the cult of personality people, the people that, you know, they've got a lot to say and they're going to, you know, say it, and it's everything that's coming out. It's things that people are thinking, but maybe they haven't said it out loud. And also the seducer, okay? There are people that talk people into things, convince you, control, intimidate, manipulate, seduce you, take your energies, take your love, take advantage of you. There are people who have expressed that they feel punished by their twin and possibly taken advantage of. But these are old energies, old relationship dynamics that are leaving for good. We are also bringing in, this is another level for people to become the divine parent. Some of the way that this resolves, quite honestly, it is by being triggered. A lot of people have felt triggered lately. There's a lot of dissension. There's a lot of blaming, name calling. There's a lot of anger projected onto the wrong party. And this is very common. This has gone through several cycles where people are angry at their twin, but they'll run around like a rampaging elephant in a china shop, breaking things, hurting people, and, you know, just doing the blame and shame thing. And that's no longer appropriate. So I want to say something here to a lot of people. Please don't be intimidated in what you feel called to do. If you feel called to do something, get out there and do it. Be willing to say goodbye to the old 3D world, because a lot of you, this trigger, this is a twofold thing. This is to shove you out the door because you have such big hearts. You'd stay. You'd try to make peace. You'd try to make good. You know, you'd try to like smooth it out. With some things, it's just time to shut the door. It really is. And if you get shoved out the door, you don't have to get angry, but call it what it is. You know, don't let people chase you down, hunt you down, go with, like, they're on a witch hunt, trying to blame or find somebody who's a scapegoat. This happens to both men and women. And I'm going to mention something here. Several months ago, I took a video out at my local library. It was, I hope you can see that, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Temple of Doom. And this has a dark Kali ritual in it. They don't have the whole thing, but in the ritual, the high priest reaches in to grab a man's still beating heart before they kind of lower him into fire. And everyone's there to worship this dark goddess. And these are some of the, I knew just 10 minutes in to watch this that I was like, oh, I know what I'm going to be transmuting tonight. And I shut off the film. It didn't stop anything. This is what some of you are experiencing. Because just imagine that in some past life, you've been subjected to these types of rituals. And yet, Maybe you're safe in your bed somewhere. Well, all of that phantom stuff, all of the fear, all of the dark stuff, the dark rituals, things in the name of God, things in the name of religion, things in the name, it's pervasive. It's all over the planet. We brought it here from other planets. The buck stops here. We're finishing that. We are concluding it. So for me, this film triggered it out. Temple of Doom. There have been other things that have triggered it out. I, previous to this, have had, since childhood, nightmares, and a lot of those have gone away. But the last of the residue, the personal things, are coming out. I want to reassure you, and you'll know this if you're a Blu-ray, and I'm going to be talking at length about this. If you are a Blu-ray, you'll know that you've transmuted some of this stuff. Maybe from places, maybe from organizations, maybe from an actual, place where there was a battle, like here in the United States, a Civil War battlefield or something like that. You may know this, and nobody has paid you for this. Nobody has really thanked you. It's been a very private thing. But I'll say right here, thank you. Thank you. And thank you for paving the way, because getting these larger densities out of the way paves the way for people to get rid of their personal experiences with, or at the hands of other people, whether it was your parents, whether it was your religion, whether it's a boss, whether it's, someone on the street. And this is a process. So we're getting away from the actual violence. There is still violence in the world. The conflicts are resolving, but the violence and those impulses. And there's a reason that people have been triggered. Because what would happen if you're a fifth dimensional being with all your stuff open, and someone gets you so angry? Do you turn into the Incredible Hulk, where you say, "Ooh, you wouldn't like me when I'm angry"? Or do you know how to balance yourself? Do you catch it? Do you catch your own moods? Do you catch and know how to safely release this stuff from yourself? That is what I teach. So in order to be the divine parent, okay, as we pass through the Lion's Gate, like I say, the Lion's Gate was very significant. And as we pass through, this is where you can actually get elevated to be at the level. And this is an energetic thing. You'll become aware of it when you have your night times and you have your out-of-body experiences with your twin flame. The divine parent, which is the blue and the golden. This should be golden. The people with the connection to the new earth, the original Blu-rays. You're going from the 3D parent and you are elevating out. Okay? So you're going from someone who may have either been taken advantage of, or you have misused and abused sex, your own sacred sex that you share with your twin flame. And some of you have become 3D parents, and this has been a very good thing. But being a karmic parent with a karmic soulmate, whether you're married or not married, is very different than being the divine parent. Being a divine parent is a completely new level, where this is where you create the magic for your children. And children goes beyond your immediately biological children or the children of your twin flame. So you're going to find that you become aware of who some of those children are. They could be kids in your community. They could be kids in another country. And you're going to have an increased awareness of this. And some people might say, I don't want children. Never wanted them, don't like them, don't feel them. Well, even animals, if you have a animal connection, this is going to be where you are able to, how would you create things that you need for those little animal babies? Okay? All right. So, moving along here, this is also especially for males, okay? The return of knowing who you are by feeling your stardust within. This is going to be you feeling your cosmic connections, really feeling it, really experiencing. And being the divine parent also means resolving all of the lineage sickness. Everything from a bad childhood, how you were punished or tormented, how you might have been abused, maybe how you might have been neglected. And, this can be the health, being poisoned with different things, physical, psychological, spiritual, emotional, mental, and sexual abuse of all kinds. So you got all of them. And people are resolving all of these lineage sicknesses. And I have some other things here for you. So this is, when I say it's the father energy, please know that this is like a patriarchal energy. It's the thing that is getting a lot of people upset. Like, ooh, the matrix, ooh, the patriarchy, ooh, like something's against us. No, it's not. It's on the move. It is shifting. It is shifting. And we have removed this. Now, along with these energies, you might feel like, oh, you're being squeezed like a tube of toothpaste and you're just gonna pop, okay? And nobody's intending for you to lose it, okay? You might feel like you're gonna lose it. You might feel your solar plexus is constricted, your heart is caving in, your heart is pressed. You might feel like your head is pressed, or weird headaches around the third eye, the sinuses, back of the neck, hips, and sometimes the gut. This fighting energy, this conflict, these arguments that you might have with your twin flame, they're being evaporated out of your gut. So people say, well, this was so intense, I really thought I was going crazy. You're not going crazy. Your mind is dissolving. Your mind is just dissolving just like this. Now, along with your mind, though, in order to be the angelic parent that you are, to care properly for, and this has been a big fear for people. Anything I create, a recipe, a song, but especially another being, a child, a career, something where someone else relies upon you. You got to be in your angel state. You got to be who you came here to be. And that is the key. So I'm going to pose a question here for you. Anytime you knew something, really knew it, you felt it, and you felt it how? You felt it with your light body. You and your twin reside within each other. You feel it with your light body. Anything you felt, your activation, the downloads, the purgings, the uploads, whatever you want to call it, anything that gets unplugged, plugged in, rerouted, rewoven, the light comes in, the sparkles come in, the stardust comes in, you get propped up, you get pushed out, you get the door closed in your face, anything. You're feeling it. You're feeling it. You're not going to be doing this with your head going forward. So I want to remind everybody, the social media is gearing up here to be what it was truly meant to be, a place to share light and lovely things. Not for fraud, not for deception, not for catfishing, not for scamming money off of people. So if you get, I'm going to just say this right here, if you get someone who claims to be your love and they want you to send money, especially via Western Union has big signs. Do not send money to people you don't know or haven't met. There are reasons. There are people that are so hooked in to this seducer energy that they will know how to get your head and get you there. And there's no hurt in it whatsoever. And you're breaking, collectively we are breaking up with this. Nobody will be able to sell you a used car unless you actually want that car. They won't convince you or give you the hard sell or anything like that. Okay? Even my stuff. You want to buy it, you buy it. If you don't, you don't. Maybe I don't click with you and that's just fine. But I will say this. There are several fabulous, fabulous, wonderful Blu-ray people and other people who I may not know or not know them as Blu-rays or who they are, because I don't tune into everybody. That's not my job. But I will say this. There are several fabulous people. Don't bash them if you feel them. If you feel they can help you. And all of us need a helping hand along the way. Hire them. Hire a professional. We are the ones with the connections. We've spent a lot of time purging and making our connections. We are transmuters. We are reconnectors. We are prototypers. One of the differences as to why you might feel someone versus someone else is it has to do with those origin connections they have. They may, so for example, if I'm talking, and there may be someone from a Caribbean island who really can't relate to what I'm saying, and that's fine. Or someone from another country that, like, I can't relate and we can't relate. We can't find that common ground. But there are people who speak that language, who can relate to that upbringing and help you and have helped with the way it's done. So, to get along here, how do we get away from this? And this is a number one question for a lot of people. I went and talked to my twin. I told him I bared my heart. I did my part, and I really didn't get the response I was expecting. Okay? And this has been a point of contention. This is like a hot topic. The hot topics, though, really pertain to what do you feel? Were you doing it from your head where you said, I'm going to have to make this happen? Or were you feeling that person? And when that feeling really comes from the inside, and I'm going to say this, you're coming up to the equinox here. If you get prompted to reach out to your twin, meet them somehow. Let the chips fall where they may. Let your twin feel you. We're not saying to do something illegal or inappropriate. Pay attention and do what is felt as appropriate. You got to check in. If you let your head get involved, for some of you, this is going to keep getting delayed. And I will say this, that this time isn't for everyone, because there are issues in twin flame relationships that we're coming into the time of being able to resolve some of those. So for some of you who kind of know it's your time, be encouraged here that yes, we're flipping the switch. It is coming. And I'm going to show you one of the ways that this happens. So I got a couple other things to show you. So let's just say this is someone, and he's like, my life in 3D is going pretty well. It's about as good as it gets. However, he's got a twin flame. He or she has got a twin flame who has been doing everything that they can, wishing, making sure that they're doing what they feel to do. Because some of this you cannot do from the human level. There's only so much you can do from a human level. However, your body is still in this human body, your light body. You're like a Ferrari inside a tank. This thing is dense. This thing needs a huge impact to get you out of it. So, along comes the blue ray energy and begins to move this all. And little by little, I don't know if you can see it there, he's dissolving off. He's been pasting over his connections with all kinds of stuff. Wine, women, song, all kinds of stuff for lifetimes. But It's dissolving. Everything is being dissolved. Little by little, the human is not harmed, but the connections to 3D, they're dissolving. Do not give up on your twin. This is what the blue is able to do. We don't mess around with trying to talk to, are we going to talk to this guy? Hey, snap out of it. Well, believe it or not, sometimes their guides have. But now it's at the point where, from a higher level, just how would you let it go? People say let it go. This is one of the ways. This is one of many ways that our energy is able to transform. Some of the things are relatable here on Earth because we use those same methods to create movement, to transform something. I mean, if you cry, you don't say, wait, I need a slab of meat and some salt and some water and I'll mix it all up and then I'll have a good cry. Some of you are crying and crying. It's already been alchemized, and then the scientists are like, ooh, this has protein. Emotional tears have more protein than other tears. And okay, thank you. But we are the ones who alchemize or release everything. So you can see this is creating some icky, foamy ick here as he's purging it. He's purging and he's purging and he's purging and he's purging. And little by little, you can start to see what's there. He's dissolving all of the ick off. And everything is purging off. You can start to see there that everything is intact. Nothing is gone. Your twin is not harmed. The wish of your heart has created something that will enable a true release and letting go. We are doing this so that everything moves along properly the way it should. Okay, I'm going to show you something else because this is another big hot topic for people. The hot topic is fear. And with fear, how are you going to do some of this? How are you going to, still pay the bills? How are you still going to do what you feel, enjoy your life, be together, etc., etc.? And yes, there are people coming together. The way of it is, first of all, you don't go to sleep, okay? You don't go back to sleep. You don't go back to soulmates. Some of you are feeling better, and somebody comes along, and it feels okay. And you know what? It's going to stay okay for you for about a season or two. And then this is all going to pick up again. Because the very first people who really have resolved themselves, and I'm not in charge of it, they're getting pushed together, okay? When you're pushed together and you are with your twin, okay, the thing I want to tell you here is when you are together, even when you're not together, you're together. Your union exists beyond space and time. It does. When you leave these bodies, if you go to sleep, he might appear to be asleep or dead in the water, but when he's asleep, he's doing something. She fell asleep on a soulmate, and she's doing something. This nice young man, he's a little bit ill. His body is still making him ill because nothing has truly stopped. Nothing. Nothing is finished. Now, these two have achieved their union. And what I want to point out to you, the reason I have them elevated here, it's the same reason that in the old fourth, we would see, we would see a saint, or we would see a spirit up here above. They are permanently floating about 5 to 10 feet above the surface of the planet. Now, I've depicted them here with their love, the blue. So this is the emotional body. This is the passion that they share. And this heart is their sacred cosmic heart. This is what's holding them up. Okay, I need to back this up here a bit. Okay, so you've got, they're being held here by the hearts, and even when one leaves, they are still supported. They're still supported, and their connection is in 5D. The connection to 5D is under the left foot. It's not here, it's not there. It is up here. And the way that you'd be able to help yourself make these connections. If you may have noticed, everything in the body is moving up, up, up. It's going system by system. It's your gut, it's your legs, it's your hips, it's your feet, it's your ankles. People are having heart things that aren't quite very alarming, but a little bit alarming. And so, what you are able to do here is you use your body. The very first thing that you feel, even if you went to sleep, you don't stop opening and expanding your light body. When you stop, it's like it condenses and you will feel depressed. And you might attribute that depression to something else, like, oh, my twin is this, my twin is that. I can tell you what the difference is. They have stopped fearing, how are they going to do this? They opened to each other, they accepted. And I'm deliberately using a same sex here, because that was very fearful for them. In some countries, they might be killed or murdered. In some countries, they would still be scorned. In other countries, they could be together and it's legal. So everything's all over the board here. However, they trusted in their love. They trusted that love would provide for them, that their love for each other and wishing to be together would. And I hear some of you, I've been wishing to be together. Well, until you clear out everything. And again, this is very subjective because many people with the right connections are coming together. When I say right connections, it means they already have the New Earth connections. They've already met each other. And so for a lot of people who have met each other, get busy with your body if you haven't already. Now, if you have, that's great. If you're just becoming aware of what some of this is, so be it. I have a recommendation here, and that is a webinar that I did. This is very pertinent for people that are feeling those parts of themselves along the solar plexus. Especially if you have someone in a loveless marriage, someone with some addictions, or a mild mental or emotional disorder. My webinar that is called The New Angelic Light Body in Transition. This is very pertinent for this time. This has several great exercises. The content in it gives you an outline of what to expect, what to do. But the exercises within it, I say that this is with importance, that those exercises are specific body movements to open the channels for the connections you share with your twin. They're on the inside of your body. That's why your solar plexus might feel like it's being squeezed, or your gut, or it feels like you can't eat certain things. Or it feels like there's something crushing your chest or laying on your lungs or the back of your neck. And these are all connections to the outer. You don't have to know specifically what they all are. You're going to know here very soon, or you might feel it. But what I'm telling you is this keeps rolling along. I produced this to give you ease and comfort, but not just ease and comfort. This is for you to feel your twin. That is another thing people are saying. I can't feel my twin anymore. Well, you're not going to feel the 3D twin. That part, that behavioral overlay, that's laying on the ground over there. That's laying. I'm just teasing about that. Nothing is intended to harm your twin. But yes, all of the 3D stuff, you're not supposed to feel that anymore. That's normal for this time period. However, you are intended to continue feeling your twin beyond this gateway, beyond the lion's gate. And for some of you, you feel like, whew, out of the lion's gate and into the lion's den. No, it doesn't really have to feel like that. Your twin, the demigod that he or she has been, where they haven't fit in and they've had to cope somehow, act crazy, do wild things, drink, drug, marry someone, and they feel some semblance of normality. And being with you is the only normal that they really have, because everything here is very transient. The pain is very real. Pain is real, and that's another thing that I address in here. The pain, and how do you get rid of any pain or discomfort? Nobody wishes pain. I don't wish it on anyone. That was my wish. How do you help people? This is how I help. If you don't need this kind of help, that's fine. But if your body, and a lot of this boils down to what your body is feeling, perceiving, and sensing, because more of you actually are deeper connected than you may realize. You could be feeling some of your twin stuff. You go to the doctor to treat something, it's actually something your twin has. So please pay attention to how these feel. Coming up to this end of the month, it's going to be a whirlwind for some people. I strongly suggest that you, again, stick to your essential stuff. And try this out. The link is going to be below. And thanks again for listening. I hope you enjoyed all of my visuals. Since we are at harvest time, I live in corn country. I got some corny stuff, but my stuff here, this is good stuff. It really does work. It brings results. And if you need some one-on-one, I am available for sessions, readings, and I'm going to say this right here. At the end of September, I am going to be having a live 3-day intensive class, and it will be hands-on. It will be me doing a reconnective form of body work. And I have not done an in-person class or hands-on in several years. My higher self informs me that I have some brand new connections and it's time. There have been reasons for it. And for many people, this amounts to what would be called continuing education. I've been through some continuing education recently, and it's time to bring it out there. So, live 3-day intensive, and it will be fun, it will be informative, and you're going to walk away empowered. So thanks so much for listening. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you like these, because then at least you'll be updated. Bye.